Today we're going to be doing our webinar today about the power of networking. And we're going to be talking about, it's not about just who you know, but it's how you connect and the quality of networking you're doing and how you're going about doing it. So we're going to be examining the role of human behavior in relationships and shaping professional development for yourself. And my name is Raheem, and I'm going to have my two partners helping me today, Jagaiza and Carlise. Are also going to be helping us with today's webinar. So I'm going to give the floor to you guys now to get started.
Hi everyone, so I'm Jigyasa. So we'll be talking about what is networking. And let me start with a simple question. What do you think networking really is? A couple of joints. If you want to drop your answers in the chat box. Going to professional events, recruiters. Okay. Any other answers? I'll let you know. See, networking is basically just connecting with people, talking to them, sharing ideas, and helping each other grow like a team. However, honestly, it's just not about collecting contacts or adding them into your LinkedIn profile and forgetting them. It's really about the conversations, the real conversation, the real interactions. It's about knowing people and also letting people know you. So when you start doing that, your idea starts flowing. You learn from each other and opportunity starts coming your way. So sometimes we believe that it's just one simple conversation can lead to guidance or a project or even a job. And the most important part here is something that's called rapport. Rapport means it's being comfortable with each other. No pressure, there's no trying to impress anyone. It's just being real. When people feel comfortable with you, they naturally want to help you, guide you, and even recommend you for anything. And the best part is that you do not ask for it. You do not have to ask for it when you have built that rapport. It actually happens naturally over time. So now that we understand what networking really means, let's talk about why it actually matters. First, career growth. A lot of the opportunities, the best opportunities, are never even posted online. They come through people, conversations, referrals, recommendations. And when you're connected with the right people, you stay informed about openings, projects, or roles that others may not even heard of. So sometimes it's not just what you know, it's who knows you. Second is learning. When you talk to different people, you learn new things. You expose yourself to new ideas, new ways of thinking. So you basically learn from others' experiences without making all the effort, or you can say all the mistakes by yourself. It helps you stay updated and broadens your mindset. Third, guidance. One of the biggest advantages of networking is access to the right guidance. Having the right person guide you can save you a lot of time and confusion. And, sometimes one good piece of advice can change your entire direction. You meet people who have different skills, you collaborate with them, and together you can do something bigger. And then you create your own personal brand. The more you connect, the more people start knowing you, they start trusting you, and when people trust you, they remember you when the opportunities come up. So without even realizing, you somehow build your own personal brand. And finally, the confidence. Talking to people helps you become more confident and express yourself better. So at first, talking to new people feels awkward. However, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So you learn how to express yourself, thoughts clearly, listen actively, and engage in a meaningful discussions. You become better at expressing yourself. That helps everywhere, and not just in networking actually. So before we move ahead, I would quickly like to hear from you all. If what do you think that stops people from networking the most? I can repeat my question. And what do you think stops people the most from networking? If you can scared to talk to people, they may not go. Okay. Lack of confidence. Shyness. That's what most people struggle with. Let's talk about it. So, let's be real. Networking actually feels uncomfortable, no doubt. And most of us hesitate because we are scared. What if they judge me? What if they reject me? But the truth is, most of the people are actually open to talk. We just don't realize it, we just overthink it. And the hardest part is just the starting. Once you say, hi, hello, or the conversation usually becomes easier. And confidence, it doesn't come first, it builds slowly. So every time you take that small step, people are not judging you as much as you think. They are busy thinking about themselves too. So if we let this fear stop us, we miss on opportunities, we miss on connections, we miss on learnings. So now the question is, how can we overcome this? What can be the key takeaways? Just take the first step. The first step would be just take the first step. Do not wait for that perfect moment, because just saying simple hi, like I mentioned, hi, I would like to know what you do, is enough to start. Second is, you can start small. You don't need to impress anyone, like mentioned before. Just say hello, ask a question, and that's it. Third, it's okay to feel uncomfortable. That's actually where the growth happens. You just need to initiate. Fourth, rejection is normal, because every conversation will not go well, and that's completely okay. Be genuine. Don't try to be perfect. I would say just be real and curious, because most of the people are actually open to connecting. You just have to reach out, and the more you practice, the easier it gets. So I'll leave you with this, that you don't have to be great at networking to start, but you do have to start to become great at networking. So now that we have understood the basics of networking, let's take it a step further. Over to Carlos, who will guide you ahead.
Hi, everyone. So, Jagissa went ahead and set a beautiful foundation for us to build on. Everything she just talked about only works because of one thing, human behavior. A lot of people think that networking is about what you say, but in reality, it's about how you make people feel when you interact with them. Social psychology shows that people usually make decisions based on emotions first, then they'll justify it logically. So, if someone feels comfortable, valued, and understood around you, they're more likely to remember you and help you later on down the line. So, our first one is going to be how networking translates into results. So, this is where we start to see why it matters in a real, tangible way. According to data from LinkedIn, roughly 70 to 85% of jobs are filled through networking. This is compared to traditional applications, meaning that most opportunities aren't even publicly listed. They're shared through connections, conversations, and referrals. This is why networking plays such a major role in how information flows, whether that is a job opening, industry insight, or even just career advice. This directly connects to your impact on your career mobility, and the connections you create give you more access to different paths and possibilities for your future. Weak ties. Now, when I say weak ties, I'm not referring to a knot that you just poorly tie. What I'm referring to is a concept in psychology that is weak ties. These are the individuals that we don't know very well. Think acquaintances, a coworker you only see every Tuesday at the coffee station in the morning, a classmate, or even someone that you just meet once. The interesting thing with these weak ties or these people that we don't know often is that they're often more connected and they provide more value than our close friends when it comes to getting new information and hearing about new positions. This is because our friends and our close circle, they usually have access to the same information that we do. However, these weak ties have such a power that is underlying that we don't realize is there. They have a completely different network from the one that we know of. So you're more likely to find job and opportunities through these weaker ties rather than who you know closely to you. Next, we're going to talk about why we don't see every role. As we previously stated, a lot of jobs are not publicly listed. This is because a lot of them are filled internally, whether that's through connections, referrals, promotions, or even internal recommendations. So this means that the information that you need has to be in your network before you even know that you're going to need it later on down the line. Your network essentially controls the flow of information, what the roles that you hear about and when you hear about them. Instead of being like the other 10,000 people that are going to hear about something that's when it's posted, you could be a part of a small group of 4 or 5 individuals that know about something before it even hits the main line. It's not about just finding the opportunities, it's a being connected to being where they're shared when they're shared. Now, we're going to take a dive into the psychology of giving first. How many of you have ever interacted with someone where they helped you out with a favor, so you feel this underlying compelled feeling to help them out later down the line if they ever need it? This applies directly to networking in the sense that people feel inclined to return favors. So when you as an individual offer your value first, whether it's your time, your help, or even information voluntarily, you're setting the foundation to build a strong relationship with them. Later down the line, they might think back, oh, hey, I remember when I was talking to this person and they brought this up just randomly to offer to help. Let me give them a call and see if they're interested in working with us on this project. This builds one of the most important things in networking, which is trust. This makes others more willing to support you in their future. This is also what's going to lead to more meaningful and long-lasting connections rather than these just mutuals one that we have right now. Reciprocity is key, it's a key principle that influences human behavior and your decision making. So when you think of, oh, I'm going to help this person, sometimes, yes, there is benefit in helping them, but doing something out of the goodness of your heart definitely will get you in some more doors than not. We have all heard the phrase opposites attract. That is one of the biggest misconceptions there is known. Individuals are drawn to individuals, things, or colors because you like them. You like someone, you don't become with someone because you think that their personality and your personality are completely opposites. No, there's something there that you both share, a similarity that you share that draws you into them. So this is why having a similarity that with someone in your network makes such a big difference. It could be something as a hobby, your background, experiences. Maybe you guys have the same type of dog. Something as simple as that connects you to them in a way that now they're thinking, "Oh my goodness, I have so much like similar in common with this person." The conversation is going to flow more easy and it's going to be genuine, and that's going to help you to build your connection faster. When people feel like they have a sense of familiarity, they're more likely to continue that relationship over time. First impressions. I am one, as many people, that have horrible first impressions with people, but in networking, your first impression is what matters more Before I even see your resume, within the first 7 seconds of talking to you, I'm going to form an impression on you. That impression is going to be based on your body language. Do you keep eye contact? What's your tone of voice that you're using? Do you seem open to the conversation? Do you seem more closed off to the conversation reserved? All of these things with your first impression matter so much in the world of networking. The nonverbal clues, they're going to help you. Once a first impression is formed, it's often very difficult to undo that impression in someone's mind and to say, oh, hey, I'm not this person that you met. I'm actually this really amazing professional. You want to introduce yourself as that professional first, then later on down the line, that will just continue build with that relationship. Taking everything that we've previously stated, let's go ahead and put it into action. This isn't about just talking to someone and then never talking to them again and hoping randomly one day down the line they remember you for an event or an opening or something. No. Effective networking starts by asking meaningful and intentional questions. Even if you're just leaving the conversation with, oh, hey, are you working on any interesting projects coming up? That question alone is going to leave something in their brain that's going to make them remember you. Following up within 24 to 48 hours, sending an email simply as, hey, it was lovely meeting you. I'm happy we had this conversation. They're going to remember that of you. Not only are they going to remember, hey, you emailed me. I've already met this person, like face to face. Now, if I know of a job opening, I already know what this person looks like, what they're like, how they speak, and how they carry themselves. Let me go ahead and bring them to the table for this opportunity that can happen. As we stated, offering value first before anything else. This is going to build trust, and once trust is built with a relationship, it is so much easier to nurture and care for it and for it to grow to its full potential. And also just be your authentic and genuine self. The first thing that anyone can pick up on is if someone is being fake or just putting on a face. When it comes to networking, you are the key to your own success. Be yourself, present yourself, show all of your accomplishments and all of this. People can sense when you're trying to be something you're not, or when you're just forcing a conversation to go a certain way. And then finally, the core principles of effective networking. Giving help first matters. This builds trust, and we all know by now that trust is one of the most important parts. Your weak ties are not as weak as you think. They are the most powerful when it comes to having new ideas and new possibilities. Your perception matters. Within those first 7 seconds, people form opinions on you. Give them something good to form about you within those 7. Be consistent. Don't show up and then disappear. Show up and stay consistently showed up throughout the entire process. At the end of the day, networking isn't about whom you know. It's about how you build and maintain those relationships. And that is what's going to help you to be a great at networking, have a phenomenal network, and get where you want to go in your career. Now, I know that was a lot, and we threw so much information at you guys. However, we want to test how good your short-term memory is. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Raheem, where she's going to introduce our next activity.
Yes. Hi, everyone. We're gonna be doing a little Kahoot today, just about like the different networking scenarios and just about some information on our presentation we just did. So I have the game pin over here for you guys able to join on your phones. Let me know if you guys have any questions joining, and I could try to help you out. Gonna give you guys another second, then we can get started if anyone else wants to join. Okay, I think it's time. Let's get started with our first question. Our first question is you met someone at an event yesterday. What should you do next? So our options are wait 2 weeks so you don't seem desperate, connect on LinkedIn with personalized message within 24 hours, ask them immediately for a referral, or do nothing until they message first. Yes, good job, guys. So, the correct answer for this one is to connect on LinkedIn with personalized message within 24 to 48 hours, which we mentioned in our presentation. The other options, like waiting 2 weeks so you don't seem desperate, can seem a little bit, it can be nerve-wracking to send that message and take that first step forward. They could tend to, some people may tend to forget that conversation of what you guys talked about when you connected with them. So waiting 2 weeks is a weaker option. Asking them immediately for a referral, um, can be a little bit like you're asking for like a little bit of a favor. And it's like about networking is about building genuine connections instead of just asking for favors, and also being a form of value to other people as well. And doing nothing until they message first. Networking is all about taking the initiative to make those connections and being showing your personality and your character. So doing nothing until they message first can leave a weak impression. So the best option for this is connecting on LinkedIn with personalized message within 24 to 48 hours, just to show your continued interest and your personality as well. That you're attentive and you remembered what you discussed with them as well. Good job. So we have our next question. At a networking mixer, two people are already talking. What should you do? Our options are interrupt and start talking about yourself, stand nearby, listen for a pause, then politely join, walk away immediately, and only join if they invite you. Yes, so the best option for this one is definitely stand nearby, listen for a pause, and politely join. While it may seem intimidating at those type of events where you may not know all these people, and you see two people, maybe you've seen like a panelist or like someone that was talking and you really want to connect with them and they're busy with someone else, it's not a total thing that you just have to walk away or only join if they invite you. There's a networking is a skill that you learn like any other skill we learn in a school, we learn in class, or we learn in a any type of webinar like this. So it's all about practice, and standing nearby, listening for a pause, and politely joining is a great way to try to join a conversation you're interested in. And while it can be an intimidating situation to be in, it's definitely a possible way for you to be able to connect with people. So it's just knowing how to navigate those social cues as well and not letting your fear get in the way. So definitely staying nearby, listening for pause, and politely joining is one of the best ways to join a conversation between two people who are already talking. Good job, everyone. So our next question is, which action can hurt your professional brand the most? Asking thoughtful questions, following up politely, only reaching out when you need a favor, or staying in touch occasionally. Yes. So for this question, the action that can hurt your professional brand the most is only reaching out when you need a favor. Asking thoughtful questions and following up politely can be things that can help your professional brand, but only reaching out when you need a favor can really impact your professional brand, because we're trying to present ourselves as genuine, authentic people that people can trust to be able to send a referral to, be able to invite you to an opportunity with. And it's about also being a person of value as well. So being able to connect with them as genuine people, ask them about their lives, being able to be like, is there anything I can do for you as well? If anything, any information, any possible opportunities that you know of. So only reaching out when you need a favor can block you from those opportunities that could possibly happen if you just put your genuine self forward. And staying in touch occasionally, well, it's good to keep up with people more than occasionally. It can hurt your professional brand, but it definitely won't hurt as much as only reaching out when you need a favor. Next question. So, what is the biggest networking mistake students make? Options are not following up, asking for too much too soon, only networking when they need a job, and not being authentic. So for this one, it's kind of a difficult. We have like mixed answers. So while all these are networking mistakes students can make, not following up can be a mistake. If there's someone you were really interested and had a good conversation with, not following up, then you can tend to forget your conversation. Asking for too much too soon is also a mistake people can make. They get excited about an opportunity or they don't know how to go around making those genuine connections. Asking for too much too soon can be like a little bit of a turnoff from some people. And not being authentic is also a really could be a really big mistake because people can tell when you're not putting your best foot forward or you're like being a little bit fake or like not being your true self. People can feel that in a conversation with you. So that's a mistake as well. But the biggest one you can make is only networking when you need a job. It's something we should constantly be doing because even though we think about networking or referral or a job, it's more than that. It's really about building a brand for yourself and a reputation for yourself in professional environments. So only networking when you need a job can be a mistake because there's so many more opportunities that could have led you to a bigger path. So it's definitely something we should constantly be doing, learning how to do, working on it as a skill, getting to know more people, using LinkedIn every day. It's definitely an important thing to do. And it can be a mistake students can make because it can block you from some opportunities that could have been really good for your career and professional development. Good job. So next question. A recruiter asks, tell me about yourself. What should you focus on the most? So for this one, the best answer would be your major strengths and career interest. When a recruiter asks, tell me about yourself, it's really important that that's a question you've been working on. It's kind of like your pitch for yourself, where you're kind of like branding yourself to recruiters. Talking about your major can help, talking about your strengths, like that you've learned in any type of experience you've had, any jobs you've had, any previous internships you've had, any other workshops you did that you have on your resume, volunteering, stuff like that. Making that kind of spiel that you can practice and you can just go on the spot with all those keys, those core things about you is really important and can really give off a really good strong impression. Your whole life story, while it's important to be genuine and be interested in other people, they're more wanting to hear about like your major, your strengths, and your career interests the most. Your GPA only, while that can matter in certain scenarios where there's like jobs with GPA requirements, programs with requirements, it's not all about stats as well. And ask them about themselves first. While it's important to ask your recruiter or anyone you're talking to questions about themselves, it's important to directly answer the question they're asking you as well and giving them a clear answer about like tell me about yourself. So having that spiel and like pitch for yourself with your major strengths and career interests can be really helpful and can help you a lot when you meet recruiters one day. Next question, who often brings the most new opportunities? Yes, acquaintances and weaker ties is definitely the best answer, and it's something we mentioned today in our webinar. While your closest friends, professors, and family members can bring you opportunities, acquaintances and weaker ties can bring you to new opportunities, as we discussed today. That they people that you have weaker ties with, you may not know, they have a whole different network of new people, different opportunities that they know about that they can introduce you to and getting to really like form like a good relationship with acquaintances and weaker ties so they can bring you to those opportunities is really important because you never know who other people know and it can be really impactful for your professional brand and your future opportunities. So definitely not depending too much on your closest friends because they probably know the same people you know and you probably know about the same opportunities they do. So having connecting with acquaintances and weaker ties can bring you to like a whole new world and whole different opportunities for you to start. On our last question. So what is the best networking conversation ratio? 80% talking, 20% listening, 50% talking, 50% listening, 30% talking, 70% listening, or let them carry the whole conversation. Yeah. So the best answer for this one would definitely be 30% talking, 70% listening. Well, it's gonna be like iffy ratio to figure out. Like 50% talking, 50% listening seems like a better ratio. 80% talking, 20% listening can be a little bit weaker because while we want to like share about ourselves, connect with people, it's important to show that you're an engaging person, that you're a person that listens, that's really like grasping what they're saying instead of just, talking over them or seeming to talk too much and not letting them get a word in. 30% talking, 70% listening is a really good ratio to have, especially when you're talking to people that are more developed in their careers and or recruiters that you want to know. Answering make sure you're good at asking questions so you can kind of let them like hear more about themselves, hear more about the companies they're with, their careers, their professional development, and really showing that you're a good listener is a really good thing to have in a networking conversation ratio, especially since a lot of us are young professionals that are still developing their professional careers and letting them carry the whole conversation. You want them to remember you. You want to have an impression on them. So letting them carry the whole conversation can lead to a little bit of a weaker impression. Let's look at the podium now. Good job. Congratulations to you guys. You guys did awesome with that Kahoot. You guys really listened. We're engaged. Let me go back to our presentation now just to wrap it up. Get back on our last slide. Yeah. So now that we went through our Kahoot today and we went through our full seminar, does anyone have any questions or thoughts or any comments that they'd like to share with us? Anything at all? We'd love to hear from you guys. Any feedback or any questions that you may have. If you want to put it in the chat as well, obviously.
Looks
So
like we have one question from Pani Naruzi. What are the best ways to maintain new connections? So, maintaining new connections go back to the slide where we had mentioned definitely keeping in contact with someone, and you want to make sure that when you did make that connection with them, it was genuine and you both were relating. As we said in the Kahoot, you don't want to be the one that was dominating the conversation too much. You want to make sure that there's balance. And definitely, if you can leave the conversation feeling like there's a mutual trust between the two of you, that's already a great way to start off the connection. Refer to them, check back in with them, even if it's just like, hey, I wanted to know if you're working on any projects, if I can assist you in any ways. That's a great way to kind of help build on that connection.
And also make sure if you follow them on LinkedIn, being active on LinkedIn. If you see they post anything on LinkedIn, send them a message about it, give them a comment if they have a new, if they posted something about a job, anything about their job, a new certificate, commenting on that. So they kind of keep you in the back of their mind is also a great way to make kind of like steadily maintain that connection as well.
And while we wait to see if anyone else has any other question, I have a question for y'all. What is one part of the presentation or fact or something that we mentioned that you did not know previously?
So, Carlise, when you mentioned having weak ties and how it can be impactful in the long run, I really
Mm-hmm.
like that. I think it is a very important manner where the more connections we have, the better it will be for us in the
Mm-hmm.
long run, hopefully.
Yes. Yes, Pawnee, those weak ties definitely go a lot further and a lot longer than most people notice that they do, which is why they are so powerful. All right, y'all. It looks like we don't have any more questions at this time. Ooh, we have one from Carlette. She says that weak ties was a note to her beforehand, and then definitely following up 24 to 48 hours is something she'll start to doing, which is absolutely phenomenal. Staying in the front of someone's mind definitely always helps you when opportunities arise. They're already right there. They just have to reach out to you. They don't have to think or ponder on it.
And showing continued interest is a really good trait to show as well. So it's something that can leave like a really long lasting impact. And it's something easy, it's not a difficult thing to do, it's a really easy thing you can do. And just implementing that into your networking skills can be really, really impactful.
And like we mentioned before, it may feel awkward for to start, but then yeah, always give a try. Everybody wants to talk. It's just in our head that yeah, people may feel awkward, but no, please give a go ahead.
Looks like we have one more question from Maxwell. What do you do when you don't get any response after the 28 to 48-hour period? So essentially, with you sending that email, it's not necessarily, yes, getting a response is great, but it's also just to send it. So you could say on your end, you have done everything possible to set yourself up for success. And if they don't respond within 24 to 48 hours, that's completely fine. Sometimes the people that we're reaching out to, their CEO or their heads of departments or things of that nature, so they might not respond until 3 days after. The thing is, you sent it, so you're at least going to get a response. Like we always hear the quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You at least know you sent it, so you're at least 50-50 versus being 100% failing. You're like 50-50. When they respond, if they respond, then you'll know where to take the conversation from there.
And it's really good etiquette to have and implement into your professional life. Like, for example, a really important etiquette to have when you're interviewing is to send a thank you to the interviewer or whoever you talk to, sending them that thank you email. Even though sometimes I've sent them, they don't reply, but it just shows that continued interest. And even though they may read it, but they may not reply. You know, a lot of these people, they're really busy with their jobs. Maybe sometimes we always read a message and don't reply. So I wouldn't take it as a total loss. And I think even though if you may not see that like everyone's replying, even some replies can be wins. And even though sometimes they don't reply, they can still remember you. They can still remember you in your conversation. So it's all good.
And even
It's
if there is
important.
no reply, I would say focus on connecting with others.
Okay, y'all, since there aren't any more questions at this time, we just want to thank you guys so much for coming to our webinar. We hope you at least learned one new fact today that you can take and apply into your day-to-day life in your world of networking.
Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate you listening to us and engaging with us today. And we
Thank
really
you
hope
so
you did
much for
learn something.
joining.
Wherever you are in the world.
Happy
You.
Earth Day, everyone. Okay, it's just us. Wait, let me end the recording.
Yeah.